It's voting season again, and now more than ever, it seems like the difference between the two main parties could not be greater. I did some research about this, and do you know what the most agreed upon issue between Democrats and Republicans is? According to a Pew Research Center survey, it's a belief that polarization between Democrats and Republicans is only going to get worse. I think that's something almost every American feels right now, that we are growing more divided. Our entire nation is suffering as a result. The main way that we see this is civil unrest. It's the fact that people are beginning to feel like there's an enemy in their own nation. We no longer are wanting to talk things over to come to a solution. A quote from the Greater Good magazine, published by Berkeley University, states it perfectly when it says, "Polarization is about more than just having a different opinion than your neighbor about certain issues. Polarization occurs when we refuse to live next to a neighbor who doesn't share our politics." We have already seen this unrest taking a violent turn, and escalations have gone back and forth. It's especially affecting our democracy and voting habits. Several studies done by David Tannenbaum, a professor at Harvard, show that when individuals show support for a policy, if it is then framed or given by an opposing political view, the individual will be heavily influenced to go against their original support. This doesn't just affect the individuals understanding each other, but also affects government officials we choose to make decisions for us, which is one of the reasons for gridlock and stalemates in government. Another study done by Pew Research Center compared polarization from 1994 to 2017. During that time, it showed that the number of individuals identifying as moderate has been cut in half because polarization has caused them to pick sides, meaning it's no longer individual thoughts, but pack mindsets leading political conversations. I believe that the best way to solve this issue is have a rational conversation with people who have differing beliefs than you. If we are constantly meeting on the battlefield, we will only see the opposition standing in front of us, and not the validity backing up their opposing views. Before we start having conversations, we should understand what sets people off, or trigger words, so that we can avoid them to maintain a beneficial conversation. You can find many videos about how to have these types of conversations, but I would recommend Jay Van Bavel's TED Ed Talk titled "Do Politics Make Us Irrational?", which can help you navigate these conversations and reach understanding. The New York published an interesting experiment back in 2019, where a sample of 526 voters from across the nation, each with different backgrounds and beliefs, were brought out to a resort in Dallas to talk about issues important to them without party involvement. The study ended, and most participants said it did not change their mind, but it did allow them to see the other person's point of view and have more understanding for certain beliefs. This experiment was a complete success. Having these conversations is about reaching understanding, to show us that people who oppose your views aren't necessarily the enemy. They can just be normal individuals who have different life experiences, which cause them to think a certain way, just as you have your own life experiences, which cause you to think your own way. Lately, it seems it's gotten so out of control that with this one label of either Democrat or Republican, we start making every possible assumption we can about the individual to determine if we are going to interact politely with each other. We need to start having these beneficial conversations so that we can reach understanding and have a safer democracy where each person feels safe to voice their own opinion. Right now, I would like to give you a challenge. I want you to have 3 conversations in the next month. We'll let everyone cool off first, so in the next 2 months, we'll have 3 conversations about policies that are important to you with someone who has a different viewpoint. As I'm finishing up, I want to reflect on this topic, and as I was doing research for this, I saw several articles that said polarization hasn't been this bad since the Civil War, and that stings a little bit. I say let's work together to bring back rational thinking among individuals to keep this democracy moving forward. Thank you.